exciting where we're going. It's the kind of thing that, you know, everyone can sit around and think sustainability is a great idea. Let's do it. But you need so much community buy-in, and I feel like everyone at Pacifica has largely bought into this overall dream of being leaders in the sustainability movement and lessening our overall impact so we're not hurting the environment that we so deeply care about.
Pacifica has a long and distinguished history. We started in 1976, and we emerged out of what was then the oil spill that happened here in Santa Barbara, California. And part of that ecological movement, in fact, the founding of Earth Day originated here in Santa Barbara, which we back then were part of. And from that point on, we imagined a place, a campus, an institution that was both ecologically sensitive as well as academically rigorous. So the notion was to combine or find the confluence between the values that underpin academic awareness and ecological sensitivity.
Basically, with three purposes of the landscape. One, to put Mediterranean gardens of the world. Two, to put in native plants as much as possible, particularly those of some concern or some use in the past with the Chumash peoples, who were mostly maritime, but they got a lot of the medicinals and useful plants from wetlands and salt marshes and oak woodlands. And so we try to recreate some of those environments. At the same time, if we're going to be using water, we use it judiciously and use it in a meaningful way, which is to grow food.
When you are in place, when you're in the environment, such as we are here, that place becomes another subject that you're relating to. So instead of looking at that relational being as an it, as I think our culture naturally does, particularly at Pacifica, I'm being instructed as to how to be in relationship, which is a thou. And my experience at Pacifica with regard to its sustainability program, it grounds that way of being in that relationship in a way that we can see what the practical work is and how that can be taken out into the community through leadership, even through the very simple thing of what looks like a plastic cup is now compostable.
I think the big issue for me is to help people recover from what I like to call the big lie. And the big lie is the idea that human beings are separate from and even superior to the rest of nature, that we're not actually part of nature. And one thing I love about Pacifica and the Pacifica campus is that here we have a really ensouled environment that's also beautiful. Even in mainstream ecology, we're still kind of thinking of plants or animals as sort of objects. They're not really part of the whole, and they're not imbued with the kind of soul that we deeply do know they are.
The issue of sustainability is more prolonged, more difficult. We're only more recently educated in these directions. For that reason, we're not acculturated to it. We have to create it ourselves. We have to decide what is sustainable practice at Pacifica on these campuses, which will be very specific to the local environment. It will not be universal. It doesn't apply in Bangladesh. It doesn't even apply in Northern California. It applies right here in Carpinteria and Santa Barbara. That means that sustainability is a matter of place.
Well, we call it the Pacifica Organic Market Gardens, and we describe them as being a demonstration or mini urban farm in the case of these raised beds. And then we do trials on varieties of low-chill fruits in the 2 acres of the other orchard. We're also helping the community by growing food for the food bank, for the Catholic Charities and Unity Shop and Transition House. We've grown food for all of these, thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. So we're trying as much as possible to interact, to be Pacifica's ecological face in the community, is what it amounts to. We compost and mulch because we try to mimic nature to some extent, of my idea of how you should be managing the land. We use compost because it's a quick way of reducing the total mass of the material down to something that's usable. And it takes literally almost a year to make really perfect compost. But ours is about 9 months old by the time we sift it and bring it into the beds or around the trees. We use the mulch specifically here to reduce dust, reduce water loss. Where we're standing now, this is what's left of 20 feet of mulch since 1991.
Psychological thought that is coming through in the programs in depth psychology, and a new awareness among the faculty initiated by the Sustainability Committee to be able to incorporate some of these issues into the materials that we've been working with for many years, but to start to see them from a new perspective, really, with the importance of sustainability in the context of the curriculum.
At Pacifica, sustainability is something that we value deeply. Yet, like the field itself, depth psychology, sustainability isn't enough. We have to go deeper still into the depth of what is being asked of us, not by our personal imagination or our personal interest only, but by the collective, and even more so than the collective psyche, the world soul, the world psyche. And what the planet is in need of is not the sustainability of the current condition, but a sense of regenerativity, so that we can access the deep psyche in order to discover and to enact new ways of being present and involved and engaged with the anima mundi, with the psyche of the world and the people and the creatures and the landscapes that we are part of.
Things that we're doing currently to try to make the campuses more environmentally friendly are looking at water consumption, especially used in landscaping, but also in various appliances, changing lights to be more energy efficient, and looking at our composting and recycling programs to try to overall reduce trash that goes to the landfill. Sustainability doesn't happen overnight. It's something that everyone in the extended Pacifica family, employees, students, teachers, alumni, when they come to our campuses, in many small ways they're participating to our overall goal to be more sustainable and environmentally friendly. And since we really started this up, I have to say I have been in awe of the dedication and determination this community has had. We're really making a difference.